Hi everyone and welcome to FPL Natty. Glad you can join me for another time. We are here yet again, almost at the cusp of game week number two. But before we talk about that, let's have a quick discussion about the previous game week and what kind of players you should be looking at before that deadline hits. So it's going to be coming pretty soon. So just want to let you know of some players that I'm looking at and how I did for game week number one. Now, you might be asking, where am I? I am at an adventure playground. So yes, it is a bit noisy. It is the summer holidays, as you guys know already. But let's just stay on track and let's look at what the managers are doing to shift their focus onto transfers. We've already seen some transfer price rises. Currently, we've seen Isak has gone up to 7.6. We've seen Saka go up to 8.6. Chilwell is at 5.6, and Rodrigo has also gone up to 5.6. Are these players that you should be looking at right now? Not necessarily, but let's have a look at what players I'm looking at and how I done for game week number one. So let's jump straight into game week number one and what I did. And as you can see, if you've calculated all those scores in my first 11, I got a total of 80 points, which I thought was a fantastic start to this season. Rank of 710,000 in the world. I still haven't worked out how many managers are playing in FPL this season, but to start off at 710, it's actually a decent start, which makes me only 17 points off of the top 10k. I think my goal this season is to try and, let me say, conservatively be top 50k, and then if I really want to push hard, go for the top 10k. I'm looking to do that. But yeah, 80 points is what I got for last season. And let's have a quick look at the players that were some great standouts. I think the first one I would want to mention is Onana. So as we know, Man United played Wolves on Monday. And yeah, it was a bit of a bashing that they got in terms of stats. Wolves were all over them in general. But if you're looking at a purely an FPL point of view, Anana done fantastic. A clean sheet, he got save points, and he got one bonus points, which equaled a total of 9 points there. Another guy I want to talk about is Chilwell. He done well in that 1-1 that Chelsea played against Liverpool, getting an assist and also a bonus point as well. The thing I want to talk about Chilwell just really briefly is that he is currently a defender, obviously, but he's so far forward and pretty much playing as a forward in that Chelsea squad. So I think it's a great addition if you haven't already got him. And with the skills that they've got going forwards, it kind of is a no-brainer to have him in your squad. Estupinian, a lot of you guys have him already as well. Over 50% owned. 4-1 is Brighton's score against Luton. One assist. He did get a yellow card and three bonus points, but I think that was fantastic in general. One who did flop for me was Gabriel. There was some kind of things on YouTube and probably at the same time now, whilst people are looking to add to their team, there was some stuff going on Twitter about whether or not he was going to start with some elite team news and things like that. And we did find out that actually was true, and he didn't start the game. I think Partey was playing as a wing back, and then maybe in the 80th minute, no, like 85th minute, I think Gabriel came on, and he played like 4 minutes, and that's why he got 1 point. So I'm really not sure what to do about him for the game that's coming forward. Will he be in Arteta's plans? From what Arteta was saying in the week, it's unlikely, but with Timber out, you might want to hold on to Gabriel to see what's going to happen with the squad going forwards. Moving on to my midfield, let's look at the people that have done really well. Saka, first of all, got a goal and three bonus points. We saw the goal he did outside of the box, a complete worldie with his left foot. Fantastic. Also, Mbeumo scored a goal but missed a complete sitter right there, skying it over the bar in that 2-2 draw against Spurs. I think he's going to be a good player to have in the team if you don't have already. People that didn't do quite as good as I thought they was going to do is Richarlison. Spurs drew 2-2 with Brentford, as I just spoke about, but he himself has some low stats for that game as an individual player. And I am slightly worried about what's going to happen with that team. I think there were better players within that Tottenham squad who I'm going to talk about that might be better options. But for now, I'm going to hold on to him because he is cheap at only 7 million. So let's see what happens with that. Also, Rashford didn't do anything in the game against Wolves. He really was a bit of a problem player in that squad. Him and Bruno Fernandes and the whole Man United squad as a whole looked a little bit toothless up front. Rashford does not play well in that number 9 position. So I'm hoping against Spurs he might move around But let's see about that one. And last but not least, I'm talking about Eze. Now, the stats for Eze was really, really good. I really can't complain about the stats that Eze did have on the pitch. The only problem was converting them. So a lot of stuff did flow through Eze in that 1-0 win they had against Sheffield United, but unfortunately he wasn't able to put away any clean sheets or have any assists or have any attacking returns. So that really was a bit of a problem for Eze. But let's have a look at that going forwards. Now, in my four positions, I have Watkins and Haaland. Watkins did actually a decent job. He got an assist in that 5-1 loss to Newcastle. So let's not talk about that. But I think his next games are going to be good, and we'll discuss that in a moment. And overall, Haaland, he was my captain. Most of you had Haaland anyway, and he produced two returns, scoring two goals, giving him three bonus points in that 3-0 win versus Burnley. So overall, I think my team done well. But look at my bench. My bench had 18 points on the bench. That's Johnston with a clean sheet, João Pedro with a goal and a bonus point, Henry with an assist, and Kabore just a point for turning up. But you know what? Game week one is done. I got 80 points. We're now going to move on to game week number two. But there are some players within game week number two that I have been looking at, and I think you should look at as well. And the first one I think that is Ben Chilwell. If you don't have him already, I really think you should be looking at having him in your squad. Let's have a look at the fixtures he has. West Ham, Luton, Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth and Aston Villa. Those are great fixtures for Chelsea and for Ben Chilwell in general. And with quite a few of those being at home, not that it makes a difference per se, but Ben Chilwell is playing so far forward up in the pitch. He is a good player to have. He costs 5.6 million he costs now. So a great price. Low ownership still at only 20% ownership, 7 points in game week one. As I said, including two bonus points, and he did get a disallowed goal where he was slightly offside. But in general, he's a great player to have if you do not have him already. Also, another player who stood out for me in game week number one was James Maddison. He's got a fixture this week against Manchester United, who do look a bit leggy, who are a bit unsure of themselves, then followed by Bournemouth, Burnley, Sheffield United, and Arsenal. He has the opportunity to bring you some good returns. Currently, I do have Richarlison, as I said already, so I may not be looking at him right now, but I may make the swap to Maddison if Richarlison doesn't do something in the next probably 2 game weeks, particularly against Man United and Bournemouth. I will look to move him on for Maddison if Maddison is going to bring the returns that he has been bringing on so far. 2 assists with an expected goal involvement of 1. Everything seems to go for him with the way that his manager Postecoglou is setting that team up. He looks like the player to have in your midfield if you don't have him already. And as you know, just from set pieces, whether they are free kicks or corners or just that kind of link-up play, Maddison is that guy. So it's time to look at my team, or what I'm thinking about my team for game week number two. So let's jump straight into it. We have Onana, and as we can see, Man United are playing Tottenham away. So we saw how defensively frail Man United was, but Onana himself saved crucial crosses and shots. I think he had about 24 shots against him, giving him save points last week. And then he dodged a penalty miss there when he done a wrestle tackle on some Wolves players. But ignoring that, Spurs I think will be stronger than Wolves were last week. They have better players, but I'm hoping that Ten Hag has drilled into the team this week. Okay, so I'm hoping that he will still save shots this week, and the defense, if they still get pummeled, he will get save points. That is what I'm hoping. So Nana will be my goalkeeper pick this week in defense. Alongside him, I've gone with the back three of Chilwell. As I said before, I picked him up previously. You just heard what I said about him. So I'm definitely going to have him in my squad. He's playing high up on the pitch, as I said, which means more chance creation and potentially more points. He's also the most brought-in player this game week. Over 550,000 FPL managers have brought in Chilwell this week from the Chelsea team. I think a lot of you that may were looking at James before realise he's injured, and it just makes sense to bring him in. Alongside him is Estupinian. He's never going at my squad, not for now anyway. Strong ownership, as I said before, about 55% ownership. but he's in a decent Brighton squad, a squad that already has produced returns across the board and creating 6 chances in game one. He is a great player to have in your team if you haven't got already. Wolves aren't a rollover, but Brighton are a better team. Brighton are on paper too strong, I think, for this Wolves side. And alongside him, I've moved up Rico Henry, who was on my bench. He is now in my first team. I saw how he played, such an attacking wing back, and he will definitely cause Fulham problems this week. And for me, he's a great differential at only 3.9% ownership, and I know he's going to be a good player for my squad. In midfield, I've now gone with a four-man midfield. So let's start with Mbeumo. As I said, both him and Henry playing the same team, and they have Fulham away. And Mbeumo has been good. We've seen what him and Wissa have been doing in that forward line with the attacking play of Henry as well. I think Mbeumo can produce returns against Fulham who weren't that good. Alongside him, I've got Richarlison. Now, my only problem with Richarlison, as I mentioned before, is can he put away the returns? Can there be enough creativity in that Spurs team to make sure that Richarlison puts the points away? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt against a Manchester United team that have only had a week to be better than they've done last week. So he's in my squad. Saka, it just makes sense. You know how Saka plays. He's not the captain. Is he the captain? I think he's the captain of Arsenal. No, he's not the captain, it's Odegaard. But he's pretty much playing that captain's role and doing a fantastic job in the squad already. Saka's in my squad there against Crystal Palace away. We know that Arsenal are going to score. They are 100% going to score. So Saka most likely will be on that score sheet, and he's on penalties as well. And last, the person to make up my midfield is Marcus Rashford. Yes, he did blank against Wolves last week, but I think he can get returns against Tottenham Hotspur because they are not that good in defence. You've seen how Spurs play in defence; they're not that strong. So I'm thinking that put it this way, if you look how Spurs played last week against Brentford, Rico Henry completely destroyed that left side. So I hope that Rashford goes back on the left with Sancho as a false nine, which means there can be points for Rashford on the left, basically. Last season, he produced a goal and an assist with 2 points, earning him 12 points last week. So I'm hoping for most of the same going for that. So that basically means I've gone with three up front, which means I've moved João Pedro from my bench into my first team. He secured a goal last week, but also missed the sitter, which I was happy about because it was on my bench. But Brighton are good in attack. They are very, very strong. And with Wolves away, as I mentioned before, I think there's going to be opportunities for them to do well. Alongside him, you've got Haaland. We know what he can do. He's over 90% owned in FPL and scored two, as I said. And he won a trophy in midweek, winning the Super Cup against Seville. We saw that. So at home, he's playing, and they've got Newcastle at home, who've conceded in all of their away fixtures last season. So I think it's going to be a good fixture for Haaland to produce some returns in. And alongside him, I've now put in Ollie Watkins. They've got Everton at home. Everton are not good. And also, we know that Villa were rubbish last week. So I think there's a lot for him to make up for in terms of points wise, not just in terms of FPL, but just in terms of Aston Villa in general. I think Ollie Watkins will be a good shout for points returns in this game week. So currently, this is what my setup is for captain. It is going to be Haaland. There's no one else I'm going to be moving off unless Haaland is injured. Currently, my vice captain is on Rashford. Will it stand away? I'm not 100% sure. But for now, it's going to remain on Rashford. I might move it to Saka. But yeah, the most likelihood is that Haaland will play. So I'm not even too worried about that. And on my bench, we have, who we got? We've got Johnston, Eze, Gabriel, and Kabore. Johnson does have good fixtures, and this is a tough fixture for him. Between him and Onana, I wasn't sure what it was going to be. Will Crystal Palace score more than Spurs scoring against Manchester United? I think that Spurs will score against United, but I also think that Crystal Palace will score more. Okay, so that is why I've gone for Onana on my first team and Johnson on my bench. Again, the same applied to Eze. Will Eze score more against teams rather than the players I have currently? And I think the players I have in my team have got more of a chance of scoring than Eze has. And that moves on to Gabriel. Gabriel against Crystal Palace. I want to bring him in my squad, particularly for. The thing is, who was I going to bring him on for? I only want to play three players up front, and I want to maximize on my attacking players. And I wasn't really worried about him being benched last week, and I think that Arteta might bring in Tomiyasu and Tyranny as well. So that's why Gabriel's there, and Kabore has a blank anyway, so I'm not really too fussed about that one. That's my squad going with the 3-4-3 formation. I think I'm going to get about 70 points this game week. The AI says I have a team fixture rating of 96%. So I think that's pretty strong. And if I do get 65, 70 points, I'll be happy. I'll be happy with that. Anything over 70 points, I'll be happy about. What do you think about that? Let me know in the comments below. So that is my squad for game week number 2. Like I said, I'm predicting myself to get 70 points for game week number 2. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, I do apologize for the noise and the terrible audio this week, but it is what it is. And we want to produce content for you guys on a weekly basis. Let you know what my team is. I want to be consistent with you guys. So that means I want you guys to subscribe, like, and share this content. You know what to do. All my details are below. Follow, share this with your friends, your family, all those that are interested in FPL, and let's see if we can do better than last week, better than last season. Give me any advice, any tips in the comments below. If you haven't already signed up to my mini league, join it. It's somewhere on the screen somewhere. Join my mini league. It's an auto link below, also in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.